Hello guys, it's been a long time I don't play Pro after getting addicted to League of Legends, but after getting so many comments from you asking to give you my Pokemon or my account, I just felt like playing kind of a Nuzlocke in Pro. Also because I need a little break from League of Legends before I start killing teenagers. Pro is not an official game to play a real Nuzlocke. It's an MMO. It's a bit different from the official game, so I'm editing the rules a little bit. But before talking about the rules, let me introduce you to my friend Ten.
They can't see me here. Can't see me touch it. Oh no!
Ten will be keeping me company for the most part, while Smooth will be playing too. By the way, I hadn't made those rules until I got to Pewter, so don't cringe if you see me breaking a few of them before Pewter. Alright, so let's start it now. It all begins when Ten and I walk into the professor's lab. I couldn't decide between Charmander or Bulbasaur, so Ten made it easier for me by picking Charmander. Then I picked Bulbasaur, and it wasn't so bad. Docile with 21 plus IVs, except for speed and attack. Pretty good for story. I named him Caroço, which means lump or fruit seed in Portuguese. I guess I can just call it Caroço because most of you only speak English and it's easier to pronounce. So we walked out and a kid named Jackson wanted to battle us because his mom hates him or something. He had an Eevee and made me use my Oranberry, but it went well. I didn't lose there. He bit Jackson and he went to cry to his mom. Then I went to Route 1 and talked to Officer Jenny and Madeline to take some quests with them. Madeline wanted to see a PG with 15 plus IVs on attack and speed in exchange for her Oddish. So I did that and got Oddish, which I plan to use as a sacrifice if necessary. Now it's time to do the Officer Jenny quest. She wants 3 Rattata hairs and a Sentret. So I went to Route 1 again and a shiny Sentret!
What's the odds of that happening?
It's really rare, to be fair. Oh my gosh, I might be too strong and kill it. I'm just gonna throw a Pokeball.
What do you mean? You're level 5. It won't kill it.
I'm scared, it's shiny.
You're not gonna kill it though for using a tackle. It don't matter. It's level 3. You probably caught it.
I caught it! It's shiny! It's trash, it's quiet, but it's shiny. I named him Orongo, which means strawberry in Portuguese. My other goal was to catch Rattata so I could level up to 80 while doing this and have Hoenn unlocked for our future Nuzlocke videos, so I caught one. After completing Officer Jenny tasks, I went to catch and train some Pokemon at Route 22 and...
Hey Buzz, I think your Oddish is about to die.
Yeah, my Oddish is dead. Well then, I went to school where any 10-year-old should be, but Jackson took my spot, so we had to fight for it. Caroço and I beat Jackson with his Eevee again. He went crying to his mom once more, but they still didn't give me a spot, so I became homeless and went to snip some grass in Route 2 and found this. A shiny Caterpie!
What the fuck?
I couldn't think of a name for her yet, so I just proceeded my journey and I crossed Viridian Forest, caught some Pokemon and killed all the trainers. In the process, we could see our Caterpie evolving to Metapod and Butterfree. At least she wasn't a teenager for a long time. I would not like to have a teenager. Then we see youngster Shane hiding behind the tree and we decide to fight him. I regret it. He kills my Paris, crits and kill my Rattata, then kills my Pikachu. So I decide to use my Butterfree against his. It's a matter of honor now. My Butterfree is sassy, which means her nature reduces speed and increases special defense. So his Butterfree moved first, but mine tanked better. So Green Rose survived 2 gusts and killed Shane's Butterfree, saving the rest of the team. Good job. And we must train to defeat Brock and Pewter. In the process, Caroço and Morongo evolved. Yay! After that, we got to Viridian Maze to explore and we found an abandoned Pokemon, a Growlithe. And you know what? I really wanted a fire Pokemon. And apart from the 1 IV on special attack, is Naive and Intimidate, which I really like. It's really good against Elite 4 and some gyms. Yeah, pretty useful. I had to give it a name though. So his tail shape and color reminds me Lily. If you don't know who Lily was, she was T-Rab's dog who passed away 2 years ago. I miss her very much. But this Growlithe is male, so his name will be Liliano. Yep. My next step was to fight Ash in the forest. I knew if I had no struggle against Ash, I would be ready for Brock. I only had to use Caroso and Morongo to beat him, so I knew I was safe. So I fight Brock and Caroso devours his Geodude. Then comes his Onix, which for some reason had less damage than his Geodude. And again, no problem. We win and get our first gym badge thanks to Caroso. Now it's time to leave Pewter and cross the most annoying cave in the world. But don't worry, you won't have to watch that. The only thing you should know though is that I caught Geodude there because I know ground is really good against electric gym and that we need it in the future. So I got it and I named him Gentle Giant because his evolution reminds me of those guys that are big and strong but super kind and sensitive for some reason. So I'm just gonna call him GG. Anyway, we finally get in Cerulean and I know that Misty's storm is no joke. So I battle all the trainers in Cerulean before challenging her. After killing all the trainers in Cerulean, I entered the gym. You might be expecting me to use Caroso against Misty, but I know that her Starmie will be faster and kill him with Psychic, so I actually used Green Rose. Butterfree is actually better here. So I tested on Swimmer Jane first to see how it goes, but checking the Pokedex, Goldeen learns Peck and I didn't want to risk it. So I switched to GG to tank it and then to Caroso to tank the incoming water move. Okay, this time Green Rose will kill Swimmer Lena. Well, she killed her Horsey, but then I didn't want to risk an ice move from Shelter on her. So I switched to Morongo and we killed it. Alright, now we're against Misty. I lead with Butterfree. I spam Silver Wind. We 2 KO Golden, 1 KO Horsey, and now they Starmie. We're slower. She hit us with Water Pulse and confuses Green Rose, but she consumes her Oran Berry, hits with Silver Wind, and boosts all stats. Oh my god. Then we survive the Water Pulse and kill her with Silver Wind. And that's how we got our second gem badge. Now it's time to go to Vermilion, so we kill all the trainers on the way. And now it's time to fight Lance Dragonair. I did not have to win this battle, but I had the team to beat it, so I tried to win. I led with Clefairy, which by the way I caught for Officer Jenny quest and also as a sacrifice. I start with Sing. For some reason Dragonair uses Safeguard and my Sing didn't miss, so I used Encore to lock it on Safeguard. Then I switched to Caroso and used Leech Seed. Now the Dragonair is no longer locked. I switched to GG to survive the Hyper Beam with Sturdy and recover HP with Leech Seed. I could just stay in and spam potions, but I felt like sacrificing Clefairy would be more interesting. So I beat Lance, but we get sent to hell anyway. In Vermilion, we walk in a stranger's house and talk to old Bike Steven. He tells us if we catch him a Ditto, he will give us a bike voucher with a discount. I really want a bike and not pay the fair price for it, so I take the deal. In the library, I find the schoolgirl Lila who I give the sacrifice Clefairy to in exchange for 2 rare candies. Like Clefairy. The other house I invade lives the fisherman guru Earl, who gives me an old rod for no reason, but I gladly accept it. Okay, now I have to go to the ship to get the HM cup. So I enter the ship and I mainly use GG and Caroso to kill all the trainers because I want to level them up for Sturge, because I know the rest of my team will not be useful against him. GG beats everyone in the basement, then we go up to the first floor, and once we get to the room 4, we challenge Jimmy, and after beating him, GG evolves to Graveler and learns Earthquake. That's all I needed for Surge. Then I started leading with Caroso to level him up. We beat everyone up to the 2nd floor, and when we enter room 3, we challenge Sailor Austin. Caroso easily kills his Kingler with Vine Whip. Then we stall his Machoke with Leech Seed and Sleep Powder because we enjoy slow death. And when he finally decides to end the torture, Caroso evolves to Venusaur and learns Shadow Dance. Then we beat the rest of the trainers, get the potion to save the captain who was poisoned by someone in the ship, and gives us the HM cut. At this point, Morongo became our HM slave, so I teach him cut and we go to the gym. GG has no problem beating Old Man Bailey and Gentleman Gregory, I don't know how to pronounce this. Then we finally challenge Surge, so I lead with Gentle Giant and he leads with Voltorb. He foul plays me, but GG doesn't even feel it and kills him with Earthquake. He sends an Elekid next and low kicks Gigi. That low kick hurt a little bit, but Gentle Giant kills him with Earthquake. His last resort was Raichu, who made the mistake of using Dig against us, so Gigi uses Earthquake one more time, overkilling the poor Raichu, and that's how we get our third gym badge. After that, we beat all the trainers in Route 11 for no reason. Then we cross the Diglett's cave to get Flash. Then we end up back in Cerulean, and instead of going down to Vermilion, we go right to Route 9. We beat them all, down to Route 10, and we find a Poke Center and the cave. The cave is dark, so I teach Flash to Magnemite and we cross it. After that, we finally get to Lavender Town. Looks like the perfect place to rest, but we decide to go down the bridge and fight some fishermen. The rest of the path was locked by a Snorlax, and we couldn't enter the Pokemon Tower, so we had to go west on the way to Celadon, but we stopped on Route 8 to catch a Ditto for that biker in Vermilion. It was a bit tricky to catch a Ditto without killing it, but we did it. Then we kept battling all the trainers in Route 8 until we challenged Super Nerd Aiden. He leads with Voltorb and I lead with Green Rose, so I switched out to Gentle Giant. He uses Self-Destruction and Gigi barely feels it. Then Aiden sends in Magnemite and... no! My Graveler died!
Hey, you Flash Cannon and one-shot it?
For some reason, I didn't expect a Flash Cannon from a Steel-type Pokemon. I'm an idiot. Gigi will not be forgotten. I sent in Liliana to avenge Gigi, burning that Magnemite to hell. Then he sends in his Porygon, who we also burn to hell. Then we cross the subway, and we finally get to Celadon. Okay, now we talk to Sergeant Rick. Apparently, some crazy scientists are doing experiments on an Eevee. So we go to the game corner to start our investigation. We find Jackson there, beat him up, and then we get caught and put in a cell with Lenny. We escaped the cell and had to cross the room without being seen by the rocket grunts. Then we battle some rocket grunts, cross a weird puzzle, battle scientists, cross more weird puzzles, got the card key, used the card key to cross a wall and find Giovanni. So we fight him. I know he uses ground type, so I lead with Caroso as he leads with Rhydon. So I just sit there spamming Petal Dance, watching all his Pokemon die. He runs away, and then I find the Eevee in one of the machines. Now I just have to talk to Sergeant Rick, but first I will check the Eevee. Timid, 30 speed, 21 special attack. This is perfect for a Jolteon or an Espion. I really need a fast Pokemon in my team. So I keep this Eevee. I talk to Sergeant Rick. He thanks me for saving the day and says that I can stay with the Eevee, which is good because I plan on staying with it anyway. So I go to the mart again and buy some TMs and evolution stones. Now I'm prepared for the gym. I could use Liliano here, but I decided to use Green Rose because it's harder to level up a third evolution Pokemon without trainers. So I'm using the gym to level her up. Green Rose easily beats them all, and now it's time to challenge Erica. Erica leads with Victory Bell and I lead with Green Rose. Green Rose uses Quiver Dance twice while Victory Bell uses Knockoff. Then an Air Slash and kill it. Erica sends in Tangela and Green Rose kill it with Bug Buzz. Lastly, Erica sends her Vileplume. Green Rose kills it with Air Slash. Easy peasy. Now we have 4 badges, which means we can trade. But what I really wanted was this Giga Drain TM, so I bought 2 of them. One for Caroso and one for Green Rose. Then I go back to Vermilion, give Ditto to the old biker Steven, and he gives me the bike voucher. Then I go to the bike shop in Cerulean and get a green bike. Then I go back to Celadon and decide to leave the Magnemite in the box and take Eevee. I name Eevee Speed because speed is what I need in my team right now. Our next goal is Fuchsia, but we can't go there because Snorlax is blocking the way. We need to save Fuji in the Pokemon Tower so we can give us a Poke Flute to wake the Snorlax up. So I trained Speed to at least level 30 and went to the Pokemon Tower in Lavender, which is also a good place to level him up and catch some Pokemon. And I caught a Cubone in there. I used Speed to kill all the trainers in the Pokemon Tower until we find a level 45 Barorax Spirit blocking the way. I wasn't sure if Speed would be able to beat it, so I switched to Caroso, who easily killed it. Then we beat some rocket grunts, find Fuji. We meet in his house and he gives us a Poke Flute to wake up the Snorlax on that bridge. So we use the Poke Flute to wake him up, and I use Sleep Powder to make him sleep again, and then I catch it. Then we cross the bridge and finally got to Fuchsia. For some reason I have this Abra on my party and I remember having no idea how to train it, so I looked at my box and realized that Cubone I got in the Pokemon Tower could be my answer to poison Pokemon in Fuchsia, and I trained him in the Pokemon Tower. I named him Hollow because his skull reminds me of Hollow Mask from Bleach. I tried to get a thick club from other Cubones in the Pokemon Tower as I was training it, but no luck, so I used the trade chat to buy one. After leveling Hollow to 60, like the rest of my team, I evolved him. I also gave the Firestone to evolve Liliano and the Thunderstone to evolve Speed. I decided he will be a Jolteon because Jolteon will be useful against Lorelei, so I think it will be better as a Jolteon than an Espeon. Now we are ready for the gym. The first Janine uses Squirrelfish, so I used Caroso to beat her. The other Janines, I used Hollow to beat them all because ground resists poison and ground is super effective against poison. So it's better that way. And T-Rav is here interrupting me.
You want Culvers?
Yeah. Then we challenge the real Janini. She leads with Ariados, but dies to Hollow's Double Edge. Then she sends in Crobat, who flinches Hollow with Air Slash, then dies to a Double Edge. Then she brings in Whizzing, so I switched to Liliano because Hollow was too low. Liliano tanks a Shadow Ball and burns Whizzing to hell. Then she brings in a Venomoth, which felt like a treat. Elbozo. Then I heal all my Pokemon and go to the beach to fight Victor. We beat his stupid Pikachu. He tells us to go to Safari to get surf, so we do that. And then we head west on the way to Saffron. We encounter many trainers on the way, but kill them all and arrive in Celadon. So we go to the stop house and give the guard a lemonade to let me pass, and we finally get in Saffron. So I lost footage from Saffron to Cinnabar. I think I forgot to record, but luckily nothing really important happened. I had no problems in the Saffron quest, and I used Green Rose to sweep the Saffron Gym. It was pretty easy. After getting the badge, we surfed to Cinnabar. I crossed the Sea Foam Cave, battled Articuno, got the Ice Beam TM, caught a Staryu, and then I arrived in Cinnabar. We went through the abandoned mansion with no problem. Didn't really catch anything in there. Then I used Hollow and Liliano to sweep the Fire Gym. No one died and we got the badge. Then we surfed back to Viridian. I bought 6 Focus Sashes because I knew we would have to fight an overlevel Mewtwo there. But it's not really just a Mewtwo, it's a Physics Steel type Mewtwo with unaware ability. So my plan was to bring only the useful Pokemon and 2 sacrifices. So I left Green Rose and Morongo behind and brought 2 sacrifices instead. I led with Caroso and somehow survived a Psychic, so I get to keep my Focus Sash. Then I used Lead Seed and switched to a sacrifice. Then I switched to Hollow, survive an Ice Beam and miss my Boomerang. So I switched to the last sacrifice to safe switch into Liliano, who apparently was faster than Mewtwo, and burned him down. No one important died and we got the last badge. Then I buy the Earthquake TM and teach it to Caroso. Now it's time to go to Victory Road. Red is supposed to be here, but since we are not supposed to beat him and we don't beat him, I just edit him out. I also bought 6 leftovers before coming here, so now it's time to cross it. We beat the trainers up to Old Man Bernie and his Alakazam. I have Caroso in, so I have to switch out. I decided to switch to Green Rose because she looked like she had a better chance, but she didn't tank that Psychic really well. I knew she could tank one more though. Then I Quiver Dance thinking I had Roost or something, but I'm fucking stupid, so I had to switch out. Morongo did not tank the Psychic well, but survived it, so I had to switch out again. Okay, Hollow tanked it, and I can easily kill. No! I did not expect Energy Ball. My strongest Pokemon died. It's like I'm not allowed to have a ground type. Hollow, at least you meet your mommy in Soul Society. So I bring in Liliano, and to avenge Hollow, we crunch the Alakazam to pieces. After that, I go back to Viridian and find that Staryu from Seafoam in my box. Hollow died because he's low. My Starmie is fast. I was gonna use Hollow for Bruno in the Elite Four, but I guess a Starmie can do the job. I can also teach her Ice Beam for Lance. So I took it and named it Samosa, which is a delicious Indian snack in a triangle shape, and the story reminds me a bunch of samosas. So I went back to Victory Road to battle all the trainers and level up Samosa in the process. We beat all the trainers with no problem, and I found a Moltres blocking the exit. Speed easily kills it, so we finally got out of the cave. Now it's time to greet all the gym leaders we beat. Thank you. thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, before going to the Elite 4, I need to level up Samosa and Morongo to at least 75. Done. Samosa's a Stormy now. Let's go. Now it's time to battle the Elite 4. I know Lorelei uses Ice and Water Pokemon, so I lead with Speed here. Speed easily one-shots her Dugong, then she sends in a Slowbro. He survives a discharge and lowers my special defense with Psychic. Speed kills him next turn and she sends in Lapras. I decide to switch to Samosa because Lapras is pretty strong and my special defense was lowered. Lapras spent Hyper Voice while I spent Power Gem. Then she sends in Jinx, who tries to put Samosa to sleep, but she holds a Lumberry. Get outplayed, bitch. She sends a Cloyster who gets one-shotted by a Power Gem. Next is Bruno. He has a bunch of Pokemon with Sturdy, and Samosa is pretty frail, so I will lead with Caroso here. He leads Onix and gets one-shotted by Giga Drain. Then he sends in Hitmonchan, who deals no damage but made me use 3 Giga Drains. Next, he sends Hitmonlee. I know Hitmonlee knows Blaze Kick, so I switch out to Liliana and lower his attack with Intimidate. Liliana 2-shots him with Flamethrower, and he sends in Onix. I go back to Caroso and Giga Drain. He survives with Sturdy, so I Earthquake. And lastly, he sends in Machamp. Caroso uses Giga Drain, and Machamp uses Ice Punch, but Caroso tanks it easy, so we spam Giga Drain until we kill it. Pretty easy so far. Now it's Agatha time. I know she uses Ghost and Poison Pokemon, and her fastest Pokemon is probably Gengar. Starmies are usually faster than Gengars, so I led with Samosa. Kill her first Gengar with Psychic, then she sends in Crobat, which is faster than Gengar and Starmie, but not really a threat for us, so we kill it. Then she sends Haunter, which dies to a Psychic as well. Then Arbok, who dies to a Psychic, and now she sends in her last Gengar, who was faster. So I send in Speed to finish the job. Now it's time to fight Lance. I know he leads with Gyarados, so I have Speed prepared for him. He dies with Discharge, and he sends in Dragonair. His Dragon Rush hurts more than my Discharge, so I switch to Liliana to lower his attack damage. And I switch to Morongo, then back to Liliana. I did that 6 times to fully lower his attack. Then I switch to Green Rose and start Quiver Dancing. I do it 6 times, then Green Rose kills it with Bug Buzz, and he sends in Tyranitar, who gets one-shotted by +6 Bug Buzz. Next, he sends an Aerodactyl, and my heart freezes here. I know Giga Drain isn't enough to kill it. I don't know how strong this Aerodactyl is. It could 2KO any Pokemon if I switch out, so I made a decision of staying in and Giga Drain. Aerodactyl survives and kills Green Rose with a Rock Slide. This really hurts because Green Rose was one of my firsts, and she saved the team so many times, and on top of that, she's shiny. The worst thing is, I brought her here knowing she would die. Even as a sacrifice, she was useful. She killed 2 Pokemon that I don't think the rest of my team would be able to kill. So, thank you, Green Rose. You're part of history now. Then I sent in Caroso, who tanked a Rock Slide like it was nothing, meaning Green Rose sacrifice was pointless. Next, he sent Charizard, so I switched to Liliana, lowering his attack. He spams Dragon Claw while I spam Crunch and Extreme Speed. Charizard finally dies, then he sends his last Pokemon, a Dragonite. I switched to Morongo to Scout. He used Stone Edge, so no way Liliana beats him. There's no safe switch here. I also knew this time would come. Morongo, you were the best slave any trainer would ask for, but we both knew you would be a sacrifice in the end. Thank you, and goodbye, friend. But his sacrifice was not in vain. I sent in Liliana, lowering his attack, and we crunch him. Then Dragonite gets confused after using Outrage so many times and hurts herself. And Liliana finished him off, crunching her to pieces. Yeah, I know, I kinda counted on luck there, but it worked. We are down to only 3 Pokemon now: Caroso, Liliana, and Speed. We need to beat Gary. I lead with Speed as he leads with Pidgeot. Speed one-shots him with Discharge. He brings in Alakazam. Speed discharges it, but he survived. Consumes Citrus Berry, restoring HP, and uses Psychic. Thanks to leftovers, I know Speed survives 1 more Psychic, so I discharge again, paralyze it, then I finish him off with another Discharge. Next, he sends Rhydon. I hard switch to Caroso, who tanks an Earthquake and restores restores all his life back with Giga Drain, killing his Rhydon. He sends in Arcanine next, so I switch to Liliano. This is Arcanine versus Arcanine. He uses Flare Blitz and Liliano uses Dig, Elbozo. Next he sends Executor, which got sent to hell. Lastly he sends Blastoise, so I switch back to Carosto and use Giga Drain. Blastoise survives it and uses Ice Beam, but Carosto survives and finish him off with a last Giga Drain. We did it, guys. I wish none of my Pokemon died, but sacrifices are necessary to achieve victory and bring peace to this world. That was so fucking cringe.